Hello and welcome to the second edition of UNews Weekly, coming to you from the UN Information Office in Uzbekistan in cooperation with the United Nations Development Programme in the country.
Today we are happy to inform you about the most important UN news of the outgoing week. I am Laila Foto
and I am Babur Kamilov, so welcome to the show. So today in the show, we'll talk about the priorities of the World Health Organization in Uzbekistan for 2013. And also we'll bring you the latest numbers from the State of the World Population Report 2012. And we'll be joined by an expert of the UNFPA, a National Programme Officer on Reproductive Health, on the topic of family planning.
We will also have news on the press conference on the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between UNDP and the National Library of Uzbekistan. Also, we will have a guest from the Business Forum of Uzbekistan project, Bahadur Bekov, who will be talking about the one-stop shop concept, which we discussed in our first UN News Weekly.
In continuation of the latest initiative of UN Information Office, the series Heads Up 2013, we were joined by Dr. Asmus Hamarik, who's the newly appointed representative of World Health Organization to Uzbekistan, who talked us through the three priority areas of the agency for 2013. Let's listen in.
I see three priorities for our work this year. Number one, non-communicable diseases, in other words, heart disease, diabetes, cancers and lung disease, and healthy lifestyles, especially in the area of reaching the maternal and child health millennium goals, and also helping the government to finalize its first national strategy for NCDs and work on the so-called causative modifiable risk factors, of which the most important one would be tobacco in Uzbekistan. So helping the government to implement the Framework Convention for Tobacco Control. That is priority area number one. Priority area number two would be communicable diseases and health security. And here we're focusing very much on diseases that are also still in the scope of the MDG achievement, namely tuberculosis, especially multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. We're helping the government to introduce new tests called TB Expert, but also new improved electronic surveillance systems called ETB Managers, and we're doing that across the country. In HIV, we are helping the authorities to strengthen HIV programs to allow even better access to services. And we are also helping the government to implement the international health regulations, which basically stipulate governments to introduce and notify the outbreaks that are happening in the country. We're also very much supporting the government and mitigating climate change and its effects on health, especially in the area of Karakalpakstan. And other areas in the country. Finally, the third priority area would be health system strengthening. Within the health system strengthening, the government of Uzbekistan is strongly supporting the global and regional health agenda on universal health coverage, which basically means allowing people financially to access quality services, but also provide those services across the country. And we are drafting strategies at the regional level and consult with the government to implement those at the national level. Finally, I would like to say that we consider primary health care very much an unfinished agenda. We have seen a lot of positive transition here in the country, and we would like to further boost the full rollout of quality primary health care here in the country together with the government of Uzbekistan. Thank you.
The State of the World's Population Report 2012 renewed the estimates of the number of unintended pregnancies and abortions, the amount of people who do not have access to family planning services, and other statistics which represent the global situation on reproductive health. In Uzbekistan, the report was launched by the UN Population Fund jointly with the Ministry of Health, Women's Committee, and other national partners at the National Press Center in the capital, Tashkent. The report, of course, reflects the findings and efforts of the UNFPA and its partners globally taking to address the issues of family planning and equal rights for economic development in developing countries. And this week, the UN Information Office was joined by Ms. Firuza Fazilova, who's the National Program Officer on Reproductive Health, who spoke to us about the situation of family planning in Uzbekistan and gave us some latest statistics. Let's have a look.
Experts believe that the findings from the State of World Population Report 2012 can help determine the spheres where they need to work harder for ensuring universal access to family planning. The issues of family planning compound an important side of the UNFPA's work in protecting one of the key universal human rights, the right to reproductive health. According to a 2012 report by the Guttmacher Institute and UNFPA, there are 1,055,000,000 women of reproductive age in the developing world. The experts believe that the risk of maternal sick rate and mortality rate for this category of women is very high. UNFPA has promoted different methods of contraception in the Republic of Uzbekistan with an investment of more than $20 million since 1993. It provided full access to these services for the population in reproductive age. The State of World Population Report 2012 also mentions the importance of meeting the needs of population for contraception.
On Tuesday, 5th of February, Al-Shar Nawai National Library hosted a press conference. The press conference was devoted to the partnership between UNDP and the National Library. The partnership will be under the umbrella of the Social Innovation and Volunteerism Project.
Memorandum has been signed between the United Nations Development Program and the National Library of Uzbekistan yesterday. This has been something that we have been waiting for quite a long time, and this has now opened a big horizon of opportunities for the library as well as our project here. Among the opportunities that we now see feasible are initiatives that we have been planning for quite a long time, such as organization of the first Café Scientifique in Uzbekistan. This is a meeting of scientists with general public where science is simplified, and the aim of this initiative is to raise interest of general population to science and scientists in general. Another very promising direction of our activities that we now see is organization of the United Nations resource room in the library. The memorandum has also set a very major step of opportunity to develop debates in Uzbekistan. Discussion club that we have launched last week is also something that we will be developing with the library, and this is a place where people will be able to express their opinions, to raise their to sound their voices. Major topic that the project will be working on is social innovation, and this will also be something that we will be working on with the library. Is promotion of the understanding and examples and best practice of social innovations. There are many directions that we will be working on together with the library, but as we go in the framework of this memorandum, I'm sure we will be having, we will be coming up with more and more opportunities for further cooperation with them.
Provision of better services to citizens was one of UNDP's priorities in 2013. Today, we welcome a guest, Bahodir Bekov, who will be speaking about the one-stop shops, which are exactly doing that. Bahodir is from the Business Forum of Uzbekistan project, which is in the second phase of its implementation. Welcome, Bahodir.
Welcome, Bahodir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Great.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
We basically it's great to have you, because me and Lalo were wondering in our previous episode that one-stop shop is a very broad concept, but actually, and very vaguely perceived sometimes if you don't go into details and clarify it. So I think it would make sense to start our conversation by asking what one-stop shop actually is and what it means and what it entails.
Well, as you know, um, the one-stop shop is in our perception, one-stop shop is a system connecting the front office and back office and providing the clients with the services through three main channels. It's internet, telephone, or face-to-face. As you may know, the three key government agencies currently working on preparation of the concept note on one-stop shop. And we are supporting them with international experience, with national, local, domestic experience, and trying to figure out what have to be done, like reform at the front office and reform of the back office. And there are actually a lot of similar terms like one window, single door, one roof, and etc. But all of those terms have specific characteristics. However, the main idea is to provide the services for the clients. Well, the clients could be the businesses or citizens in one place. So if we go back and in the history, maybe in Uzbekistan, the one window or one-stop shop was introduced in 2006. In the business sphere. And as you know, in the local authorities, there was created special inspections nearly in the 200 districts in Uzbekistan. And those districts providing the services on the principle of one-stop shop. And most of the services was for business registration or getting some permits. And lately, like all state agencies, the government agencies, the private sector started to introducing this notion, the one window or one-stop shop. And
it must be making a difference in their work. I mean, there's so many people.
And it's becoming integrated among many ministries.
There's so many people wanting answers to the questions, they're very, very simple questions, regular questions. People go out, have to find different people to find those answers. I think businesses implementing them must have already made a huge difference in their work.
That's right. But the problem is that each ministry introducing the one-stop shop within its ministry. I mean, the whole services that provides one ministry, and you will have to go to another agency to get some other services. And for example, if you want to, I don't know, get the passport, like you have to gather a lot of certificates like in Uzbekistan and go through many, many agencies. But the idea which we want to provide is that you go to one place, submit the application, and all interaction between ministries will be done by one-stop shop. So,
so one-stop shops promote transparency, efficiency, and improved work of local authorities, basically.
Right. Well, by introduction of one-stop shop, the streamlining of the process at the back office should be done. For example, the agencies should cooperate within themselves, and interact with information. There are a lot of things which in the technical sphere or IT sphere have to be updated or integrated.
Regularly, is it on it saves time, right? My understanding.
Right,
Sorry
right.
to interrupt, but it saves time.
Right. It saves time, money. For example, in the business sphere, if you want to get some license, you will have to come to capital like Tashkent. If you live like outside, maybe in Karakalpakstan or Andijan, anywhere you have to come, like spend your time, money, and it's not really convenient. So the one-stop shop provides you an opportunity to apply, maybe not in the physical place. As we understand, the one-stop shop is a physical place. Maybe there should be a portal, like web portal, so you can submit the application through this web portal. Or if you do not understand how the internet works, you can call to, I don't know, the call center
Mm-hmm.
or this one-stop shop and get some consultancy from the operator,
Mm-hmm.
how to apply, how to fill in the form, and uh, when can I receive the service? Like
Mm-hmm.
when can I get the license?
Bahadur, you mentioned the regions. So let's go to the regions. Do we know how many one-stop shops we have so far? And what are the services they're providing?
We are implementing starting from 2011. We have created 4 business facilitation centers for entrepreneurs. So these one-stop shops provide mostly business services in Fergana, in Andijan, in 4 regions: Turtkul, Karagapakistan. And however, the government wants maybe us to help them to create the concept that provide the service not only for businesses but for citizens. And this includes the social services, the health, the insurance, and many, many others.
Which is something also one other UNDP project is piloting. So do you envisage cooperation in this field?
Right. We working closely with another UN project, UNDP project, it's LGSP project.
It's local governance
local government support project. Yeah, the experience in the Andijan, Jizak, and Namangan are very useful to elaborate the concept, and we taking into account the experience and lessons learned in these regions.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the concept of one-stop shops is at the level of piloting, where right now you're trying to see what are the challenges, what are the opportunities, and are working and creating a concept to further increase the quantity of these one-stop shops. Yes, Baba?
Exactly. And to go back to the core of that concept, I think we've talked about the big picture so far. I would like to go now slightly deeper into a real life example. Imagine I want to sell an apartment. Take me through that.
Well,
normally I would have to gather lots of papers.
That's right.
That I don't owe for electricity, for utilities. I would have to collect lots of paperwork proving that I am the legal owner of this house and owner of the legal rights to sell this house. So how would One Stop Shop make my life easier in this case?
Usually, if you, let's say, want to sell the house or buy the apartment, you will have to go through like 20 agencies, companies. It's private companies and utilities, and you'll spend at least 20 days and your time. So one-stop shop, you will come, submit the application form, and ask to help you to create a contract. So the one-stop shop will, on behalf of you, send the application to the government agencies and any other companies and gather all necessary information. And finally, in a certain time, maybe it will be faster, like in several days, you will get the all package of documents to sign the agreement. And in this way, you will save your time and money. Well, it may be like a very broad example, but these 2 pilots, as you said, we're trying to introduce the e-billing system for utilities and the business registration. This is the 2 pilots which will be launched, I hope, this year.
So when you say e-billing, you mean the billing will become electronic, or how?
Right. Well, currently, if you have to pay the bills for gas or electricity, first you will have to go to this special company and ask for the bills, like how much you have to pay. Then you will have to go to the bank and pay the bill. So anyway, you are going and paying, like you are spending
so
the
it's time and yes.
Yeah. And the one-stop shop will help you maybe go through the internet, the web portal, to get all information. And we're also trying to introduce the paying through the internet. So you don't have to go out from your house.
So you can actually know how much you owe and pay through your card online.
Right. This is the idea.
Which is something widely practiced in the developed part of the world.
Right.
Which brings me to my last question to you, UNDP has a practice of studying the experiences of developed countries or experience of countries that have already carried similar projects out and have got stories to share, stories of success to share. So what's the international practice that you've learned or that has given a push to the implementation of this in Uzbekistan? What have you guys found out so far?
Well, we've organized the study tour for government agencies and private sector in the end of 2012. We went to Singapore to learn the interactive government services and web portal. How do they serve the people? And also the local government support projects, learn a lot of experience of different countries, Georgia, Vietnam, and many others, while introducing the one-stop shop in Jizak and Namangan. So these opportunities, if we go to Singapore, they introduced almost 300 e-services. So it's not the physical one-stop shop, what we're trying to do now at this stage, but it's a web portal so that you can get all like a range of services through the internet. This is, I think, the very progressive country in this field. So we learn.
So you don't have to leave your house.
That's right.
You don't have to go out anywhere.
300 services, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good. There must be some challenges then you must have faced, because this is something that you're doing in this country for the first time, and this probably isn't only in this country. It's being implemented for the first time in the entire region. Something like something of an innovative character that UNDP is bringing. So,
right.
What has
there are really a lot of challenges. The first might be not all government agencies and maybe private companies providing services are ready to go to e-services. Well, first of all, as I said, it required the reform and streamlining of procedures in back office. And there are a lot of legislation, laws, and regulations that have to be amended or maybe approved. And this requires a lot of works, not only like laws, but also technical and technological. So we hope that the one-stop shop will start operating in Uzbekistan as an element of electronic governance, which the government tries to implement now. Will start in 2015, 2016.
So in the course of our discussion, I would just like you to help us conclude our conversation by telling us a few things about the next steps. Are you guys planning anything to further in continuation of this process? And what are the prospects and challenges?
Well, as I said before, currently government elaborating the concept note on one-stop shop, and before, a few years ago, there were a lot of the president's resolution, the cabinet's decisions regarding the one-stop shop, providing the services on a one-window principle, and UNDP helps with international experience and helps the governments with creation of this one-stop shop concept. And the Business Forum of Uzbekistan, along with local government support projects, providing a lot of supportive materials and helping with international experience and materials which are necessary for the government. And we are mostly providing the technical support for the government, and we hope that with the initiative of UNDP, this concept now will be implemented successfully in the near future.
That's quite an exciting reforming moment to look forward to.
Thank you for joining us, Bahadur, and sharing all this with our listeners.
The best of luck to you in your projects.
Thank you very much.
And we'll bring you more stories from the life and the world of United Nations in Uzbekistan in our next episode of the UNews Weekly. So for now, from me and the rest of the team, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.